If those that are here, if you could raise your hand if you've had problems with your mic in the mornings when we're listening to Janny or Dark Side throughout the day in voice chat, because I want to see if anyone's on here that are having issues. If no one's having issues, then I'll cover it very briefly so that it's recorded.
No, I think just this is a very, very good exercise because a lot of people don't even know that they can come in and talk and use their mic.
Correct. So, and just to kind of give you some of the background. So there is in the settings in Discord, different permission groups have different levels of settings. So most of the permissions in the DST room are set to where the individual has to use what's called push to talk. So I'm actually going to share my screen.
The reason why we also have that set up, guys, it's not that we want to keep y'all from being able to speak. It's more or less it mutes individuals where they have hot mics first and foremost, and secondary, we cannot put a priority on who is actually speaking unless we do push to talk. So the moderators are the ones that have the priority. So if anyone is talking and they need to interrupt about, say, a breaking news event or something, it will lower the volume down on the person that is speaking so the mic can be heard.
I didn't know that. Nice, good information. Yeah, and obviously the big one that I've noticed is if someone comes in and they leave their mic on, with the push to talk enabled, you actually have to push a sequence of buttons to get the push to talk to work. If you leave it open, then any background noise going on, and if someone steps away from the computer, their dog's barking or whatever, then no one can hear what's going on. So can you guys see my screen currently? The Discord settings?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when you come into this voice and video activity, so, and for those of you that don't know, you get to that from this gear down here, the user settings. And you go to voice to video and you will see all your mic settings. So like you can set these to be default, you can set these to be your internal. And sometimes if you don't go in here and check these, you may think maybe a headset's working, but the mic could still be set up on your internal, like I just switched that. And so if I was talking on Discord, the mic on my Mac would actually be picking up the volume versus my actual headset. So I leave it at default, but sometimes if you have issues, you can check that. You can also do this let's check, and it'll check your input volume and your output volume. And then if you see mine's on voice activity. If you want to do push to talk, what you'll do is you'll enable this push to talk button. Another thing that I would recommend is that you up this millisecond push to talk release delay. What that does is if you push to talk and you're talking and you let go right at the end of your words, sometimes it'll get cut off because you let go maybe just a second too soon. So there is a delay here that will allow you to basically when you release, the mic's still working for a delayed time frame. Then what you do is you push this record keybind, and then you actually type in whatever key combination you want to do. So if it's like Control M or Shift, whatever, you can record whatever key combination you want. After you do that and you exit, then when you come back in to the actual voice channel, which is below. Okay, so right here is the voice chat. So then you would click this under voice chat. There's a trading room voice chat. There's an off-topic hangout, some other voice chats. So this is the room that everyone is in during the trading day. So you would click that, and then when you click that, you would push your key combination to talk. Now, here's the other trick. You could still have yourself muted down here, push the key to talk, and nothing's going to work. You're pressing it, it's not working, you're like, my mic's broken. So you have to ensure that the mute down here is unmuted and that you're pushing the proper push to talk sequence. Once you do that and you push it, you'll hear a little notification sound from Discord, and you'll get a green light that kind of borders the your icon in the voice chat room. Do I have any questions about that?
I used to have issues when I had a Mac, and then I got smart and switched over to PC.
Right. It's always someone, Dark Side. It's always someone. Who
Think
was
of it-
that? So
think
I
of
can
it-
boot them.
Mayor. Think of it more like a kind of like a walkie-talkie CB radio. You're just kind of pushing, on the button talking, and then you release the button, and then you're muted at that point. Is more or less is what is happening. That way you're not cluttering the chat up. Also, the areas of the settings that Josh was talking about that you have as a default normally, if you have problems not being able to speak or hear, and that input output device area looks right to you, go ahead and toggle it, because I found a little bug that's happened over the years that every now and then when especially if you do like a Microsoft update or something, it kind of messes with sometimes your devices. And I'd basically just move it to another device. Like my monitors have speakers built into them. I'll just switch it to a monitor, then I'll flip it back to my headset, and that usually fixes any type of little issue by just doing the little toggle sometimes.
All right. Any other questions? Well, and while I'm sharing, the other thing that I did want to uninstall. Okay, so someone had the issue and uninstalled, reinstalled Discord. Yep, always either toggle, or like if you're using a mic, another thing you can do is pull the mic out of the computer and put it back in to see if that resets it. But also, if you guys are having issues, feel free to shoot us a DM. I can give you some ideas to try. So while we're in here, I did want to also kind of bring your all's attention to a couple things in Discord briefly. One is this DST ideas and preparation. So this is where the pre-market schedule is every morning. So if you're not watching that in the morning, this is where you need to watch it. The other thing is because of echo and things like that, DarkSide is actually using this voice channel down here for the audio. So there's been a few folks that have been getting on this Zoom meeting and saying, I can't hear. It's because the voice is coming out of the voice chat, and we're only using Zoom for the visual. So that's a change from how things were happening before. So click your Zoom to log in, and then go ahead and click your voice chat. The voice chat, you should already be on it early in the morning before this even starts. So you don't even have to turn this one off. You click it, you're in, you can listen to Janny pre-market. And then DarkSide will come on at 9, so it'll be in the same room. The only thing you're doing is grabbing the visuals from here. Same thing with the scanners. It's another Zoom meeting. This is where the study group schedule is, which that's how you found this link, unless you got it out of the main chat. But you can always check this on your own. The recorded webinars are in here. So they're going to be all listed there, and you can rewatch them. The watch list. This is now what I do in the mornings myself. I come out here and I grab this watch list. And what I'll do is I'll copy it, and this is just me. I use OneNote. So to get my format right in OneNote, I'll give you another tip. If you type copy and paste this in OneNote, what you will get is basically everything all jumbled together. And that can be frustrating because it's like, okay, I want to put this watch list in here, and I paste it in, and this is what it looks like. So for those of you that are not super techie and you want a shortcut, if you come in to the Word document, and hopefully, are you guys seeing this, or are you guys only seeing my Discord? I want to make sure you guys are seeing the whole screen.
I see everything.
Okay, awesome. So
Yeah,
if you open a Word document and you do paste special and you do unformatted text, it will actually post with the same format. Then you can do Control A or Command A on a Mac to select everything, Control X or Command X on a Mac to cut it, and then Control or Command V to paste it. Now what I have is I have the same watch list that I can make notes on as he's talking. So I grab this watch list before he starts, and then if he gives direction and says, wait for a pullback and continuation, I'll put that in to my notes, and I'll go ahead and then I take if it's a stock within my price range, I highlight it. Well, now I've got, when I go to my notes, I've got a nice, all the tickers that he's talked about, plus the ones, what he's saying to do, and the ones that I want to look at. I grab everything though, so I can look and learn later, and I can go back and analyze, say, there's a stock that's $300 that I can't afford. I still want to learn. I still want to see what his thesis was and how it worked out. So that's something that I would highly recommend you guys doing, is grabbing that watch list and going ahead and making your own notes on as well. Analyst ratings, Purdue's doing an awesome job of grabbing these and posting them in this channel. So guys, this is like, you're getting free news and stuff that other people are paying for. You know, Purdue's taking the time out to post this stuff in, doing a great job on the earnings as well. Darkside will post it in here as well. Offerings, IPOs, and this is stuff in here, the quiet period and lockup period. I don't know a lot about that. I'll let Darkside, if you want to quickly touch on what that is so people understand it.
Quiet period is the first period of time that the stock, basically you can't get any type of PR news coming in from the company, that basically allows the stock to actually work. Analysts usually stay away from the stocks also. It's usually about a 30-day period or so that the stock can't be talked about whenever these company is just IPO, to give it a chance to work. The expiration period is more or less whenever the insiders that bought the stock before it IPO, they got it at a deep discount. I mean, if you look at a stock where maybe it IPO'd at $20, they may have bought it at $5. And so they're going to want to obviously sell, especially if the stock's coming down, but just to be able to take on the profit, because most of the people that buy early on are very profitable unless the stock just completely tanks. But they can't sell until the lockdown period is, and it's usually around a 90-day window or something like that. I mean, that's why we have the dates listed in here of whenever it is. It shows the date that the stock IPO'd. It shows the date that the expiration. So if you look all the way to the far right, you'll see the date that it originally IPO'd, and then you'll see the date that it's going to be allowing the lockdown period to actually be lifted on that. So it's just more or less, that is a date we need to be looking at, is where over time, usually stocks will start selling off, getting close to it about a week or two before the actual lockdown has taken place. The old way of trading, it used to be once it locked down, the stock would just tank because people would just be getting out of their positions on it. That's kind of changed. A lot of the stocks will somewhat grind now and just kind of go sideways. If you look at Beyond Meats, for example, when the lockdown period actually took place, it went down it sloped down all the way down through the lockdown period. After the lockdown period, it slipped maybe another $10, $20. Comparing the price, that's really nothing that it was trading at. And then it basically just kind of grinded around the $70, $75 range for literally weeks before it started catching its second wind and started pushing back up. So you got to look at more or less, these are time frames. There's going to be events that are going to be taking place. You're going to have high volatility movements and stuff like that, that you got to be somewhat know about if you're an options trader. It's also a deal if you're going to be going long or short. If you're going to be swinging, you need to be aware of these time frames that these stocks will be able to do. It doesn't mean that they're going to all bail out, but it does mean that now they have the ability to start getting out if they want to. I mean, if you look at Uber, for example, most of the executives of Uber have sold all their positions, and that's one reason Uber's kind of like just been kind of stagnated, because the majority of the people that are being involved with Uber are just bailing out of it.
So was this area right here the end of the lockdown period? a lockout period?
Yes, it was right around Halloween, I believe, is when it took place. Right before that, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, look at that, guys. Just grinded. It's crazy. Awesome. Thank you. All right, any questions on those two? I'm going to check the, nope, okay. All right, stock splits are posted here. FDA biotech news, dark pool alerts. Darkside's been calling these out. And again, Darkside's getting these from a subscription that he's paying pretty decent money for. So guys, take advantage of these tools. Option suite alerts, swing trade alerts. So here's some tickers with looking at swing ideas. Day trade alerts, Darkside's been nailing these. I mean, he sometimes is way off like 16 cents and we got to rein him back in and be like, come on, man, we need it to the penny. But he usually pulls it back up and gets within a couple cents after we beat him with hoses in the back. But breaking news, again, news articles and things like that. So all of this, guys, I mean, this is your place that if you're new to trading, you don't know how to build a watch list, you have a ton of information through this ideas and preparation area that you can get all kinds of data and information that you can start looking at what you want to trade. And then you get down here to our regular chat room. So the trading room, this is the one that's primarily used. We also have a general chat, an options chat, swing trading. So I know Purdue posts a lot in here. Leanna Lynn posts a lot in here and looks at different swing ideas based on harmonic patterns, which if you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you jump on Darkside's class because he teaches this in his class. OTCs and pink sheets, off-topic hangout, class members only. So this is an area only for our class. So lots of information, lots of great tools. Under here you have the voice chat. If you're not using these things, I highly recommend it. Dig into them, read through the channels, see what's out there. There's also a whole section of news down here. Now, if news is driving you nuts or something like that, and you're like, oh, these, you know, this is constantly new information, and it's distracting, you can just minimize these sections. You don't have to have them. You also can mute certain things. So say, for instance, OTC pink sheets is not something that you want to look at. You can mute this right here. And then what happens is when you see it's grayed out, it doesn't show any of the new, you don't get any alert based on, like, you see these little white tabs next to your rooms and next to the channels showing you, hey, you haven't read something. So if you want to mute or unmute a channel, you can also mute and actually mute and unmute the entire category. So plenty of ways to customize in Discord. Again, I'm not going to go through all these, but tons of different news outlets that you can collect information from. So any questions on Discord before Darkside takes over? And I'm going to go back to the regular text channel. And I know this can be daunting if you first come into the room. I know when I first came into the room, before I actually started my my own Trader Paradigm Discord room, and we had a few channels, and then Tango Baker invited me to Darkside's room, and there was so much in here. At first I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of information. But if you pay attention to, if it's too much and you want to go ahead and minimize everything, you can do that if that makes it easier for you, and then pop things out as you need them. If that makes it less overwhelming, then go for it, because bottom line is you got to make this work for you. So if I'm like, oh, I want a chat room, so I click here and I go to my chat room, and then I minimize it, and I'm like, oh, I need to see, news. Okay, let me click on news. I mean, if that helps you, do it. If there's just a few areas that you use, and I would highly recommend keeping these open, the chat rooms and the ideas and preparation, because you're going to be using it a lot. But you can customize it so that you're not overwhelmed. Last chance, any questions? and you may all know this, you know, I get, we have a lot of people that's been here a while, but also I wanted to have this recorded so new folks could see where they go to navigate Discord.
Also, guys, there are different ways to utilize Discord. You can use the built-in desktop app on your computers, which is Windows and Mac
Yep.
versions out. You also can use it for a web browser. So
Yeah, let
even
me
if
show you that. So like if I do Option click, and if you guys don't know that, if you do Option click on the actual room, it opens the web. I think it's Alt click on a Mac. So you just do Alt or Option click and you click on the icon of the room and then it brings in the web version. Here's the actual web version.
And you also have iOS and Android devices that you could put it onto. So if you're on the go, you can have it on your cell phone. You can have it on like an iPad. You can actually have it to where it's multiple places and stuff. So, and if you're not aware, if you don't have a mic and you want to talk to us in the voice chat, or you don't can't having issues with your computer and stuff like that. I've known people that have used their cell phone for years because they don't want to go out and spend $30 for a microphone. So they just use the cell phone and use their cell phone as their microphone to talk to us.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. That you bring up another good point. I've been sometimes in rooms where two different voice chats are going on in the same time. You can't be on two different voice channels at once. So what I would do is I would have my iPad with one voice channel, and I'd have the other on my computer with the other voice channel, so I could have both of them going at the same time.
You can also do that between having a web version versus
Yep.
the desktop on the same computer.
Right.
Do you have a recommendation for a mic to use?
All depends upon how much you want to go into it. I mean, I've got a studio set up here, so I spent a lot of cash on mine. But if you're just looking for something that's just basic to get by, I mean, just a headset like a gamer would use, with a built-in microphone is fine. You can buy USB microphones like the Yeti. There's also some got this other brand. Now I got a USB mic I use when I'm traveling. That, I mean, you can pick one up for about $70 to $90 for like a standalone one if you're wanting to sound a little bit better, because the headset mics don't sound as good as a actual stand-up mic like a Yeti or something like that, or Snowball, and these different type of ones that are out there. But if you're just wanting just a plain headset with a built-in mic, I mean, just look for a gaming headset.
Also, real quick, just because I forgot to do this at the beginning, anyone that is in the Zoom today, if you do not have access to Darkside's room, DM me and I'll shoot you the link, because I know I've posted this in 3 different rooms. So if anyone needs the invite link, just DM me on Discord and I'll send it over. All right, Darkside, over to you.